Hello everyone, this is Benny Hills back for another vintage cube draft. Something I want to talk about a little bit before I start. I think I'm gonna intro these videos with just talking through a general cube theory that I have, and this is a really important one. Ooh, we just went to 4,000 active players. That's cool. Um, this is a really important thing I think that a lot of people don't really think about, or at least haven't heard expressed like this way. So obviously, in general, you want to be the only player drafting your deck. Like, you want it to be as open as possible. Um, in my opinion, the only deck that works if you are not the only person drafting it is blue mid range for the most part. Like, you can't really be Reanimator if someone else is Reanimator. Same with green aggro, same with mono or green ramp, or red aggro or white aggro. Like Storm, certainly. You really need to have all the pieces for any non like blue mid range deck to compete. Which is why I like to start most of my drafts planning on drafting a blue mid range deck. And that's like a good start because that's the one deck where you might not have enough playables. And then so I'll start with that, and then if it looks like something else is completely wide open, especially if blue is getting cut, then I'll transition into that. And you're okay doing that because those decks tend to be very open. And so taking mana drain here, but I just want to finish this thought quickly. So yeah, that's why I like to always start with blue because that's the one thing that works if you're splitting it with other people, and then sort of always be open to switching to other stuff. So that doesn't mean I'll literally always first pick a blue card, but like I really don't want to force anything other than blue because most decks that are forced, like unless you just happen to get lucky and no one else is drafting the thing that you're trying to force, like you can't really like in green you need all the one drops. Like in red you need all the burn spells. You can't really afford for other people to be taking those cards. As for this pack, lots of great stuff. Demonic Tutor, Rofellos, Tundra. Those are probably the top three cards other than Mana Drain, but this card is just amazing. Counterspell on its own is incredible, and if you give it a bunch of upside, turns out it makes it even better. So, very happy to take that. It is sad to miss Tundra. I do like Blue White a lot, as I've said before, but it is what it is. Here we have another dual land, Blue Black, which I mean, I just think Blue anything is a pretty solid combo, but Blue Black is certainly good, so I do like Watergrave, but I think we should just take the Glen here. I like Glen a little bit better than Dictor Time in general, unless it's broken card draw. I like taking interaction over card draw. And these are both 2-for-1, so they're both card advantage. This card is amazing. Love, love, love Fiery Confluence, and it does somehow wheel sometimes, so maybe we have our eye on that. That would be just amazing if we could get that. Blue in general doesn't have great ways to interact with artifacts, but definitely taking Glen here, and we'll sort of see which blue color combination looks the most open. All right. Wow. Lots of good options here again. So there's Cryptic Command. We're looking like we are going to want to be heavy blue. Um, and like with Mana Drain already, and like Glenalandra, like these are all cards that make us want to have a lot of blue mana. There's also Azorius Signet and Scarab God, both of which I love. This is, I mean, obviously best in blue white, but good at, like just blue signets in general are very good. Um, there's a lot of powerful blue card advantage, and so mana and cards are a match made in heaven. I also really do like the Scarab God a lot. It's very hard to kill for a lot of decks, and it's sort of like you win the long game if you have Scarab God pretty much no matter what. And it's also getting early. You can prioritize things that have maybe smaller bodies but good effects. Like this is great with like Mole Drifter type things. Like a 4/4 flyer is just a very good threat. But I think we should go with Cryptic here. Like this start is leaning us towards heavy blue. If someone else takes this, they'll be in heavy blue, and counter spells are just very powerful. So sad to miss on these two other good blue cards, but I think we'll go with that. Ulamog is a combo with Mana Drain for sure. And just a really great card, one of the better top end cards in the queue, but it is very expensive. And without Mana Drain, I mean, I do think this card, like Mono Blue Artifacts, is a good deck. And if you get like Thran Dynamo and stuff like that, it can be quite good. But we don't have any acceleration right now. I think we're just gonna go with Ludo Core again, like sort of carving out a niche as the blue drafter is good. I mean, as a blue drafter, I'm sure other people will be playing blue as well. But this card is it's not amazing. If we could wheel Dictor Time, it's great with that, but it's a solid role player. Just helps with consistency a lot, and I do value consistency quite a bit. So we'll take a looter here. All right. I mean, again, black does look open, so that does make the Dark Slick Shores look decent. This card wheels a surprising amount. I would definitely love to play this card, but I do think like it's not an essential card in the deck. We also don't know we want to be blue-black. I mean, if someone takes the Scarab God and the Watery Grave, then like it'll be sort of hard to move into that. There's a slim chance we'll wheel all three of those, and that would be incredible. But all three being the Watery Grave, Scarab God, and Murderous Rider. But I think we should just go with the Jace. I mean, yeah, just card draw, always good to have. This is looking like a deck that will really want Force of Will or Force of Negation, just with a lot of card draw. Okay, a bit of a decision time here. This is not an opposition deck, almost certainly. I mean, we have two creatures, but like, yeah, not really what we want. There is this Baleful Strix, and again, like, we've been passing a lot of blue-black stuff, so it might be unlikely to get this back. Like if we take this, but then all the other blue-black stuff gets taken, it'll be hard for us to pick up more blue-black stuff going forward. There's also Elspeth, which I do like quite a bit, especially in blue-white. I think this is just a great top-end card. I am leaning towards picking this, just given how much good blue-black stuff we've been passing. We haven't passed any of the blue-white cards. We did pass the Tundra early on, but yeah, I think Elspeth is probably the correct pick here. If those blue-black stuff do come back, then we'll sort of regret that, but that's fine. I generally don't love Sun Titan, especially when we already have Elspeth. It is good with Jace Beleren. Just like drawing 3 cards and putting this is good with good 3-mana plays that you can put into the graveyard when you want to. But there is also Spellseeker, and it only has one thing to get right now, but that thing is very good. Spellseeker for Mana Drain is definitely a strong play, and who knows, we might even get lucky enough to open up a Time Walker and Ancestral or something like that. And even if we just get a Ponder, like being able to get Mana Drain and Ponder is pretty good. So I think we'll take this over the Sun Titan. We're still not even sure we'll be playing white. Oh, wow, this is really close. I love Day of Judgment in this deck, and we do think we want to be blue-white, but there's also Steam Vents, and I think that's probably what we should take. There's 2 red cards also that we would love to play. Like, Blue-Red Breach is a great deck, and in fact, there's definitely a strong argument for just taking that, but since it is coming pretty late. But I think we want the Steam Vents first. Like, we've passed blue-white and blue-black dual lands, and having good mana is very important, especially when you have a lot of Cryptic and Mana Drain. So I think we'll take the Steam Vents, and yeah, be sad that we passed some sweet stuff, but I think this is probably the best pick. Here, this is a good sideboard card if we are in white. In general, I'm like, Steam Vents is a pretty strong pull towards being blue-red, and red does look pretty open. There's still 2 red cards, so I think we'll take Wear and Tear. If we end up in Jeskai, this card is amazing. Even if you're just playing Wear, it's still playable in most decks. So I think this is what we're going to want to go with here. Okay. This doesn't combo with anything we have right now, but it can be very good. Blue-red is the best color combination for it, but I think we should go with the Deluge. We know we're playing blue, but we really don't know what beyond that. And this is a good card in blue-black, like just a very cheap board sweeper is a good effect to have. And I don't think we're missing out on too much by passing any of these other cards. So we'll take this and... Oh, wow, okay. That's really great to get this late Scarab God. I think now I sort of regret not taking the Baleful Strix. Like, this Elspeth would be worse than Baleful Strix. There's a slim chance we'll get it back, because if everyone's passing Scarab God, they might also be passing the Strix. But, yeah, I think Scarab God is our strongest color pull that we have so far. Temple Garden is definitely a better land than Blackcleave Cliffs, but it's definitely more likely that we end up in Grixis than in Bant. This is good if we get, there's some fetches that would make this good, but I think we should take this still, because now we have solid... Okay, nice. Got the Murderous Rider back. I think, yeah, blue-black looks like it's where we want to be. I actually like all 3 of these cards pretty well, but this is the best of the bunch. So definitely a real bummer not to have the Baleful Strix, but we still have a pretty solid start here. Take the Johnny Vengeance. There's a world still where we end up Jeskai. So now these are the cards that we definitely want to be playing through the end of the first pack. We missed out on Baleful Strix and Watery Grave, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but still a very strong start. Ooh. Wow, so this is a very strong pack. Mana Bolt is just a broken card, one of the best cards in the cube. Our deck really does not use it super well, though. It definitely doesn't work well with Cryptic Command. It's fine with Scarab God, but not great. Coalition Relic is another one of the best cards in the cube. It fixes your mana very well, ramps you very well and stuff, but I kind of think we should just go with the DAC. This card is just truly broken. one of the best blue cards, or just one of the best cards in general in the cube. Definitely, I would say it's probably, if not top 10, at least top 15. Um, and I think this is where we're gonna want to be. We have some decent red fixing here, so maybe we end up in like a Grixis deck that like base blue Grixis. That's a very strong deck in my opinion. A Braid is also good if we end up in red, so maybe that's something to look out for on the wheel. Or certainly Treasure Cruise would be great, especially since we know we're not getting Dig. But I think we're taking Dak here. Okay, the blue here is looking weak. We're not an upheaval deck or a Tolarian Academy deck at this point, although we could get there. Certainly not Mind's Desiring either. We still don't know exactly what colors we're going to be, but I do think it's looking like Oblivion Ring is probably the best card for this sort of deck, but we have a lot of 3s already, and I think white is not the most likely unless we get a lot more fixing. So I actually think I'm leaning towards Wurmcoil Engine here. There's some matchups where it's pretty weak, like it definitely matches up pretty poorly against like Swords to Plowshares, but in a lot of our hardest matchups, like aggressive decks, this can be very good. And yeah, just a solid top end card, great with mana drain. So I think this is what we're gonna go with. It's so broken. If you're on the draw, you just go mana drain your 3-drop into turn 3 Wurmcoil, and that just can end a lot of games right there. So there's a High Tide. We are heavy blue, but I still think that's not really where we want to be. It's mostly between Impulse and Venser here. Golos can be pretty sweet, but we don't really have the lands for that right now. It is close between these two cards. I do like them both quite a bit, but I think I'm leaning a little bit toward the Impulse. I guess the Scarab God is very good with Venser. But I still think, like, in general, you should err on the side of taking the cheaper card when in doubt. And we don't have a whole lot of cheap plays right now. So I think that this is where we're going to want to be. Although I do like Venser quite a bit, so I'm sorry to see that go. But yeah, I'm going to do this. Oh, wow. Okay. Click and Charter Course are both great cards for sure. But Fallen Shinobi is just busted. This card can just win the game on its own a lot of times. It's annoying that it does work very well with Click. That's probably one of the best cards to pair with it. But I think that Shinobi is where we want to be. We probably won't wheel either of these blue cards, but it's great with Literal Core. That is an unblockable threat. If you can somehow manage to get a Spellseeker through, you can get some value off of recasting that. So yeah, we'll take the Shinobi. Again, it's super, super good with Baleful Strix, so this pick definitely didn't work out with the Elspeth, but I still think we're in a very good position. Pretty easy Treachery here. Well, actually, Fumarole is definitely a consideration too, but I still think we're going with the Treachery. Everyone passed the Steam Vent, so there's a decent chance that the Wandering Fumarole comes back. But Treachery is just, but like even if it doesn't, Treachery is just really, really good. It's a 0 mana 2-for-1, and we have a couple good 5 mana plays. So just like turn 5 Treachery, untap 5 lands, play Scarab God is really brutal. And this pack is decent. I think it's not unlikely that we wheel this Wandering Fumarole. Like someone's gonna take the Ravages of War, probably. Someone's taking Hellrider. Someone's taking Exhume. Someone's taking Fyndhorn Elves. Actually, I guess it's not super strong, but hopefully we can wheel the land. Either way, we're taking Treachery. So this is not a good pack for us. I'm not a fan of Search for Azcanta. Especially we have a surprisingly high creature count right now. So I think, well, Hero's Downfall. I was gonna say we could take the Godless Shrine, which could potentially enable the White Splash. It's good if we do end up with Wear Tear, but I think Hero's Downfall is actually pretty good. We do need some fixing for sure, but I think that being able to interact with Planeswalkers in a blue deck is very powerful because that's one of the easiest ways that the opponent can sort of snowball advantage. So having Hero's Downfall plus Murderous Rider seems like a pretty good place to be. Ooh. We're not really an Entomb deck or a Liliana deck, although Liliana would be somewhat okay. We have a decent number of creatures, but I still think I like taking the Hallowed Fountain here. There's still a chance we could end up in some sort of 4-color deck if we get better fixing, and like if we open up a Fracture Identity or Teferi or something like that, I definitely like being able to make that splash, so we'll take this. Okay, I think we'll take the Wrath of God here. Nothing else is really that good, and I don't think it's super likely that we end up this heavy white, but it's definitely possible, especially having just picked up a Hallowed Fountain, and Elspeth and Wrath of God is a decent pull. Ooh, okay. This is close. There's still a chance I think we should take the Treasure Cruise. Like, we have decent card draw already, but we don't have any ways to abuse our graveyard to speak of. I mean, Scarab God sort of. And Dak and Looter both fill the graveyard very well, so I think Treasure Cruise is looking pretty good. I do actually like Elspeth Conquers Death and Abrade both a lot, but yeah, I think this is probably the best pick. Pyromancer or Hangerback Walker? I don't really think I'm going to end up playing either one in the main deck, and so I think I'm going to go with the Hangerback Walker. This is a great sideboard card against red decks, so yeah, I like having access to that. Another turn 2 play, which we don't have a lot of. And actually, these 1-mana removal spells are both decent. Yeah, we probably should just take a Flame Slash. Well, High Tide is tempting just to ramp stuff out, but I think probably taking Flame Slash is a bit better. That's a close pick, though. Ooh, I like a late Engrass Rampage. We don't really have stuff to make Crucible of Worlds work, so yeah, we'll take this. And then if we do end up in Grixis, which I do think is fairly likely, oh man, what were we trying to wheel from this pack? Oh, I don't remember. But there's something we wanted to wheel from this pack that we did not get, unfortunately. We'll just take, I guess, Tide Taker. Again, solid sideboard card against some decks. Okay, none of this stuff is... Oh, that could maybe end up helping us in some way. I do think that right now the Grixis is looking a little bit better than white, even though we do have this Hallowed Fountain, but unclear. I mean, we could also just... Oh, we could end up in just blue-black if we, like, have a ton of blue-black great cards, but easy Jace here. This card is amazing. One of the best Planeswalkers ever printed. Very, very strong in Cube in particular, especially if we can pick up like a Force of Will or something. Yeah, definitely slam dunk Jace here. Ooh, this is hard. So the cards that, well, actually, yeah, there's a lot of reasonable cards here. Arid Nesa is a nice land. It gets Steam Vent and Hallowed Fountain. So that is pretty sweet. There's also Creeping Tar Pit, which, like, we are almost definitely going to be, yeah, we're definitely playing blue-black, so that's a great land. And there's also Mystic Confluence, which is just awesome. This card is just so good. I think I would take Creeping Tar Pit over almost any spell. Like, we have tons of spells, so we definitely want to prioritize fixing. Oh, it's actually so close. This is, like, one of the few cards that I would even consider taking over Creeping Tar Pit here. Man, as much as I hate to ever pass this card, I actually think I am going to take the Tar Pit. We'll do the Discipline pick. Like, we have very bad fixing and heavy mana requirements. We have double black and triple blue, and I also really love man lands in general, so it breaks my heart to pass the Mystical Dispute, but I think, or Mystical Confluence, but I think that's unfortunately what we got to do here. Okay, I love picking up a Thoughtseize. That's a somewhat late Thoughtseize, and it's good with Spellseeker. Just a really powerful, cheap interactive card, and we do we're a little bit light on cheap interaction. We have this Mana Drain and Engrass Rampage, which we may or may not end up playing, so definitely happy to pick up a Thoughtseize. Heartless Act is a great removal spell. If we had taken the Mystic Confluence, Torrential Gearhulk would be pretty sweet. Cryptic and Mystic Confluence are the two best things to do with this. There's also Miscalc, which I do love, just cheap interaction. But Daretti is very strong. And I do want to be able to play red. It's so close between Miscalc and Daretti. I think we are going to go with Daretti. It is a little bit more likely to wheel, but it's just so good. And we really don't have a ton of removal. I mean, we have some, I guess, but I think this is... Oh, man. Yeah, I do really wish we could pick up this Miscalc, but I think we're going to go with this, Daretti. Let's pack isn't great for us. It's not looking like we're going to be in green, so Tropical Island doesn't do much. Ancient Grudge is awesome, but again, we don't really have green. Like, our one green land is also white, which is probably not even something we're going to play. That I do think this is probably the best card in the pack. Vampiric Tutor is solid, but it's better when you have in like a combo deck or something. Like here, we're just getting like a value play, and that's not super good. So I think we'll take the Sower. Like there's some match like this is amazing against green. We actually might not even main deck it, although we could. I do think we'll take this. Yeah. Okay. Pretty easy Spire Bluff Canal here. We would maybe play Flame Tongue, maybe play Liliana's Triumph, at least in the board, maybe play Lightning Strike, but yeah, easy dual land here. Ooh. This is tough on the mana, but it's very powerful. Especially since we have a decent number of other Planeswalkers. Like, this is really awesome if you're also gaining Daretti, Dak, and Jace abilities. Again, yeah, it's not great with a mana base. Like, we're not super heavy black, but I think the upside is high enough. And, like, I mean, passing on Chupacabra or something isn't great, but I like this card a lot. Ooh, wow, okay. Yeah, this is a pretty broken deck if the mana works. I'm feeling very happy to have taken the Tarpet there, even though Mystic Confluence is a real good card. This card is just great. Really, really powerful Planeswalker. It's not, I honestly don't even really think it should be in the cube. Like, it's very unfun to play against, but what can you do? If you can't beat him, join him. Here, I think Walking Ballista, Fatal Push, and Pyroclasm are all reasonable, but I think we should go with the Pyroclasm. There's some, like, none of these are cards we want to be playing in the main deck, and Pyroclasm has the most upside in certain matchups, so we'll take that. We could go Daretti Tribal. We don't really have anything to combo with it, though. It's sort of just a way, way worse version of Dak. So I think we're going to take this Animate Dead. It's a great card in the sideboard against Reanimator decks, so we'll take that. It's actually, I can imagine a world where we would even main deck this in some builds, but we have so many great cards that that's not the case here. These three cards are all reasonable. I think we should just take Pack Rat. Again, we're not going to main deck any of these cards, but there's some matchups where Pack Rat can be very powerful. Oh, Brutal have two dual lands that are both half on color. I guess white is slightly more likely, so we'll take this, but not play it. I like a Mesmeric Fiend for the board. I don't think we want it in the main deck, probably. It's just not super powerful. But against something like Storm, where hand disruption is really important, that could be good. Alright, so definitely 10 out of 10 spells in this deck. 2 out of 10 mana. We have no fetch lands, which hurts. Also, yeah, I mean, not having Baleful Strix is annoying. This is sort of a deck where I would like to play 18 lands, where we have somewhat weak fixing and a good top end. I think, I was going to say cutting the Wurmcoil, but that's really our only good thing to pair with Mana Drain. But also, like, Mana Drain's just good. I think we'll just cut Wurmcoil Engine. It's definitely, again, a card we'll certainly want in some matchups, but it is good. But I kind of think all the other cards are a bit stronger. I guess we could cut Sower. Maybe we should cut Sower, actually. We do already have a Treachery, and the argument against Wurmcoil is that it dies to some removal, but Sower dies to way more removal. We do have a lot of 3s, but I really like all of them, so like I think having one sweeper effect is very essential, so there's that. I guess Spellseeker is looking a little bit awkward. It does hit, but like the things that hits are very diverse, which is nice. Like it only hits 4 cards, but it's very, very good cards. We have an ability to hit their hand, an ability to accentuate our hand, a counter spell, and a removal spell. So that's really like the 4 pillars of what you might want to get with a Spellseeker. So even though it doesn't have a ton of, well, actually, yeah, it doesn't have a ton of targets, and then also we do have so many 3s. I actually think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut Spellseeker and bring in this Hangerback Walker. That may look a little bit weird, but I want a 2-mana play. Like, it's not great to have so few ways to do stuff before the 3rd turn. especially in a deck with no Moxen or way to accelerate. So this can help us catch up. It's good with mana drain, and yeah, I think it just helps out with our curve a lot. Like being able to play it as like a 2 or a 4 makes our curve look a lot smoother. And I definitely, yeah, I'm very happy to be playing 18 lands in this deck. In general, that's something I already think I do more than a lot of people, and this is like the ultimate 18 land deck. So yeah, not really. That's not a particularly hard call in my opinion. So let's see if we go with the recommendation here. That's 5, 6, 7 black sources. I would like to have more for Nicol Bolas, ideally, and 2 double black cards that we might want on turn 3. So 7 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red. We could honestly probably go to 4. We have 4 red cards, but they all only require single red, and none of them are cards that you like really would need to play out early. So potentially reds on the chopping block, and then for blue we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't really feel comfortable going below 10 blue with a Cryptic Command and Mana Drain. Although we did end up lighter blue than I was expecting after the first couple picks. I think I'm going to cut 1 mountain for 1 swamp. 1 more dual land would definitely make this deck a lot stronger, so bummer to not have that. But I think this is what we're going to go with. This is a solid deck. Like, no power, and, like, it is slow. Like, getting an Uncolored Mox would make this deck much, much better. But we have a lot of powerful stuff, a lot of Planeswalkers, which I do like. Actually, how many Planeswalkers do we have? 4, 5, 6 Planeswalkers? That's solid. Yeah, I like this deck a lot. I'd give this a 7 out of 10. Yeah, probably 7. If we had like 2 fetch lands, it might be a 9. Or like, if we had 2 fetch lands and a blue-black duel. But we'll definitely lose some games to our mana base, which is always frustrating. But yeah, I think this is a pretty sweet start. So hope to see you soon in the match. All right, we have our opponent with our sweet Grixis control deck. So we'll see if we can get there. I think this deck would ideally want to be paired up against other blue decks. Like, I think we can grind pretty well, but we don't have a ton of removal, so we could fall behind against cheap creatures. Ooh. Great hand, definitely it's a keep. We have good mana, which is the biggest hurdle to clear with this deck for sure. Question is if we want to play Thoughtseize on turn 1 or if we want to hold up Mana Drain on turn 2. And I think we'd rather Thoughtseize on 1. Mana Drain generally gets better the later it is, when you can counter something and get more mana from it. And, like, we can't interact on this turn if we don't play Thoughtseize. So, like, if they have a Signet or something that's a big part of their plan, that would be annoying. Interesting. Okay. Weird that they didn't play Figure of Destiny last turn. So, we can use Dack to steal the Porcelain Legionnaire, which will be pretty nice. Don't really care about Fiery Confluence. We don't have many artifacts, and our life total is high. Treachery, they're a long way away from. I think it's really between Balance and Figure of Destiny. And if they play Balance, I guess, what happens then? Like, so they draw a card, then they would have 6 cards in hand, play land, Balance next turn, set them back a land, which they can't really afford. So I think we should just take that Figure of Destiny here. Again, though, weird they didn't play last turn. So they'll go Plains Legionnaire here. And we'll take 1 hit from it, but then we'll get Dack down and steal it. Then they can Balance and we'll lose the Porcelain Legionnaire, but that's not the end of the world. So we can't cast Cryptic, but we can cast Nicol Bolas, and we can also cast anything else in our deck now with the mana we have, so that's pretty sweet. Pretty lucky to draw 2 of our 4 dual lands. Alright, hopefully they don't have the counterspell. Oh, 3 of our 4 dual lands. And now we can play any spell. So we will do this. They can Balance and kill our Porcelain Legionnaire and make us sack a land. But they would also have to discard a card. And if they do make a sack a land, I'm not actually sure which land we would sack. I guess probably Blackleaf Cliffs. We'd only double red. I mean, if they have Wasteland, that'd be annoying. We would have very few left in our deck. Okay, no, I mean, that is actually good. We sack, so choose 2 lands. I think we want to play Creeping Tar Pit and still have a mana drain, so we're going to just sack these 2 lands. Alright. So we will loot, probably pitch some swamps here. Okay, so we do want to have triple black. Actually, this is close. Definitely an island. And then I think a swamp. Like we do, actually, no, we should probably just pitch Steam Vent and Island. Yeah, I think that's the move. Because that means we can guarantee to cast Nicol Bolas with the cards in our hand. It is annoying the mana drain does not help at all with Nicol Bolas, but that's fine. So we'll loot again. Probably pitching this island, and then we'll see what else we draw. Oh, nice. So island and mountain will go away. I think we are just going to run out this Jace. I can't really imagine anything too terrifying that they would play here. And it is nice just to have a lot of cards in hand with the deck. And a lot of Planeswalkers on board for the Nicol Bolas. They'll probably scoop the Nicol Bolas, honestly. Oh, wow. Grixis Super Friends. Pretty OP. I do think we're going to play Nicol Bolas next turn. Like, the fact that it can attack their resources is pretty sick. Recruiter of the Guard, sure. At this point, they're just giving us information. I can't really imagine us losing this one. And we're just going to minus Jace. They can kill it there if they want to, but, like, we'll just have so many Planeswalkers. Like, we don't even care about losing this Jace. Muldrifter, sure. So, draw a card. Swamp, black, black, blue. Black, black, red. +1 for this. So we'll see if they exile their recruiter or a card from their hand. Then I guess we will loot again. I mean, our hand is pretty good. Like, we don't want to discard all our lands here. We'll definitely pitch a swamp. And then I guess Angrath's Rampage, like, making this act a creature is definitely awkward against Recruiter. So, yeah. What do they pitch? Fiery Confluence? Okay. So next turn we can play Jace and hold up Mana Drain. Seems pretty busted. So I guess they're just like Grixis or Jeskai, like aggro control. That seems a bit unfocused. And I don't know if they're just getting unlucky or if their mana sucks, but you don't really want to be like, we've seen lots of colors and just a bunch of basics, which I guess is sort of our deck too, but whatever. So we'll draw a card. See if they exile. Treachery, so we don't know anything now. Jace. Brainstorm and Dak are nice together. Like, we can... I mean, actually, I get... Well, nothing really matters at this point. Like, clearly this game is over. We could even just start Fate Sealing, but I like drawing cards. So, whatever, put back these 2. We'll be drawing them immediately with a stack. And we're going to pitch, I guess, Island Swamp. We're holding up Mana Drain and Impulse. I guess we need to worry a little bit about milling ourselves, so we might want to stop dacking. Yeah, we probably should stop dacking. what is this? Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, we definitely should mana drain this. That's, like, actually pretty good because we've discarded so many lands that we don't really have a ton left in our deck. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we only have 3 lands left. So, ooh, yeah, that is a pretty excellent draw here. So we will cast this. I think we're going for win with the Scarab God Ultimate here. Or, Nicol Bolas Ultimate. So we do this. I mean, we could even just play the Scarab God, but I don't think we need to get that greedy. And yeah, we're just gonna sit with that and play. I mean, we could even loot them just to see more information. Actually, I think I'm gonna do that. I think there's no possible string of cards they could have to win from here, so just getting information is worth it. As weird as that may seem. Have 2 cards, friend. It is really good to know about the Ravages of War. That's something we should be prepared for. We could bring in Flame Slash, although that still doesn't seem great. Yeah, we probably won't even sideboard here, but we'll see. So you can keep your tapped land. And our passing holding up Cryptic plus Glen and Murderous Rider and Impulse. I mean, yeah, we'll counter this. I guess now we're only holding up 1 counter spell. Cryptic is pretty heavy blue, but they have 5 mana. They have 2 cards that we don't know about. We have 3 Planeswalkers. Okay, so they have 1 card in their hand. We'll see what it is. Nope. We could bounce our Glen also instead of drawing a card since we don't care about drawing, but I actually do think, yeah, okay. Yeah, that game was just not even close to being close. To be fair, though, we also drew great mana, which is not something to be taken for granted at all. What did we, like, what do they have? I mean, they have Fractured Identity, which is good. They didn't see many creatures, so Sower, I actually sort of like Sower here. They have a decent number of creatures themselves, and they'll probably be cutting removal. Maybe on the draw we could cut a land, go down to 17. They do have Path, which is good against Wurmcoil. They also have Fractured Identity, which is good against Wurmcoil. Yeah, I think we'll cut the Wurmcoil Engine. It's very expensive, and if I'm going to pay 6 mana for something, I don't want it to be possible for them to trade with it efficiently. Like, again, I mean, all the cards I just named also deal with Sower, but spending 4 mana versus 6 is a pretty big difference. So we'll see. Again, I like to do the little test. We'll see when we draw, or if we draw Sower, if we would rather it be Wurmcoil or not. I don't really know, and we can use that as information for future sideboard sessions potentially. I do think milling out is something to be somewhat aware of. Like the Nicol Bolas Ultimate wins, and the Scarab God can win a game quickly. Jace Ultimate can win. I guess we do have Ashiok. Maybe we are pretty good on win conditions, but it's still something we should be slightly aware of. One of my least favorite things is when you're mana screwed early on and you just have to like loot away all your expensive win conditions. Like if we're stuck on 3 lands of the deck and we just like have 6 spells in hand and we have to discard like Nicol Bolas, Scarab God, and then later in the game you just get yeah, that's a very frustrating feeling. Another reason why I sort of wish we had Baleful Strix is then actually this card could be potentially reasonable. Like, it's better when you also have Fallen Shinobi, and you can sort of like keep them guessing, and like obviously the same cards that enable one enable the other. This isn't the matchup for it, but against like Reanimator, that could potentially be a card we want to bring in. Okay, the mana is awkward here, but I think we'll keep it on the draw. Hopefully, the Literal Core can help smooth it a bit, and then we do have this combo, which is very nice. We should play around Condemn. If they might have taken Condemn out, but hopefully we can line that up well. What is this, Ancestral Vision? I don't think they would be just main phasing the recall here. Alright, that's a good card. We need the mana for it, but Steam Vents would be our best draw by quite a bit here. Ponder, sure. Interesting call to wait before play their land before Ponder. It could draw like a fetch land or something, I guess. I mean, they could be playing around Daze, but we would definitely not Daze this Ponder if we had it. I do think there's a lot of like very, very small decisions, like playing your stuff pre or post combat. And I mean, they can matter, but I also do think you don't want to like bog yourself down and like time out because you're like too busy thinking about these tiny little things. But with that Ponder, that actually is potentially like important. All right, close call here. I would love to be able to play Mana Drain next turn, but we definitely want to have Literal Core on turn 4 attacking for this Shinobi. And so if we play this turn, then we can't play Looter and hold a Mana Drain next turn. So if we want to have Literal Core on play, we might as well get it in play now so we get an attack and then just play Creeping Tar Pit next turn. And if we don't draw a red land, we'll probably pitch this Duretti. Like I just mentioned how I hate discarding win conditions, and this is like a good card, but it's not a win condition per se. Alright, what is this? Recruiter of the Guard again? Is it Signet? Sure. I wish we had a Dak Faden and mana to cast him. Alright. Definitely discarding a Swamp here. We do not need the 4th black. We did cut a Swamp for a Mountain, so that could potentially be coming back to bite us a bit here, but I don't think that'll be too important. So, yeah, just playing Tar Pit and passing. It's possible we should have discarded the Duretti, but we are playing a lot of lands. Alright, what's that name? I guess probably one of the Planeswalkers. My guess would be Jace, just because that's the one who could play this turn using all 4 mana, but whatever it is, we don't really care. I mean, they definitely will name Duretti, and Nicol Bolas, I mean, I guess they could name, but don't really care about that either. Sure. Pretty far off from casting that one. So I don't think they have Condemn. I mean, they probably would have cut it. It'll be definitely awkward if we go for it here and then get Condemned. Also, maybe we should have discarded this Duretti last turn instead of the Swamp. I mean, we'll see, but yeah, whatever we do. I still think we're in a good position. Like, if this Shinobi connects, that's just really, really good for us. I mean, it could just hit 2 lands, which would be a brick, but hopefully, I mean, we could also just hit like Sun Titan, get back our Swamp, and win. If they path this, that's fine too. We get our red source then. Yeah, just we don't want Condemn, but oh wow, they do have the Condemn. Okay, that's definitely good. Big tempo play. Now there's looters in our hand, so that did not work out how we were hoping it would. But also, I mean, it does set up this Toxic Deluge potentially. Like if they play a creature here, we can just Deluge and then hold up Mana Drain if we hit land. Looks like a Sun Titan probably. Yep. They can get back a land, but that's fine. Then we'll just kill both of these. So we really, really want to draw land. Yeah, if we could just hold it Mana Drain this turn, I think that would pretty much end the game. I do think holding a Mana Drain is better than Looter Core here. Like, our hand is pretty stacked. I mean, I guess drawing towards lands would be nice, but yeah, this seems fine. I'm sort of surprised they got back the Flooded Strand. I would think that they would want to fetch a red source. I mean, I'm sure they have a red dual to fetch here. Oh, alright. Relic, sure. It doesn't, I mean, that's good against Treasure Cruise, I guess. No attack. Interesting. Land. So, I actually think I want to just Sower that Sun Titan. If they kill the Sower, they still can't attack, and we can just Deluge next turn. And if we do get to attack, just getting back the Swamp is nice. Right now, Sower's looking much, much better than Wurmcoil, so worth noting. Yeah, I mean, so if they kill the Sower, and then they get in 1 2-point hit. So that's the downside, just taking 2 more damage. Oh, wait, I forgot. Actually, they can just exile this. But I still think I like playing the Sower here. And, like, I mean, we just have a clock now, too. Like, we can kill them in 2 turns if they don't have a removal spell. And if they do, then we just sweep the board after that. And if the removal spell is Path, that also gives us red. So we would take a red, still not use it this turn because we would just use Toxic Deluge and then hold up Mana Drain. But then the following turn, we would have access to any of these 3 red cards. They're under a lot of pressure to crack this Relic just because they're so far behind. I mean, well, they're not really behind on the board, but, like, our hand is just so stacked. Like, even if we don't draw a mountain, like, we could just discard these 3 cards and still have a pretty decent hand. And luckily we don't have to discard these 3 cards. Also, Fractured Identity is not too scary. Like, they can make their own Sower, but that doesn't do anything. They could just exile their own Sun Titan and get a new Sun Titan, but that still doesn't do anything. I mean, they get a land, but we don't really care about that. At this point, I think something like Sphinx's Rev is the only card that's really scary. Or, I mean, I guess a Planeswalker. If we don't draw red for a while, a Planeswalker could sort of snowball. Okay, sure. If they don't have a land and they can't play it this turn, that would be pretty sweet. We're definitely trading here if they let us. Okay. Not. So, let's hit that land. Alright, not the land exactly that we wanted, but it's fine. We can play Looter and hold up Mana Drain. Again, Mana Drain is pretty awkward in this hand where we have extremely intense color requirements, but even if we don't get to use the mana, it's still just a counterspell. We're not going to counter the Brazen Borrower here. We're probably just going to be trading Sower with that. I do think we will counter the Sun Titan. We don't really care about it, but, like, we don't really want to spend a lot of time holding up blue mana. We'll trade here, take 2. We don't care about the Revoker. So obviously just really hoping to draw that red source. Maybe the discipline play is actually just let this resolve. Yeah, I think we actually should do that. I want to Mana Drain it, but, like, if we draw a red source, then we would wish that we'd Mana Drained this. But if we don't really have a play next turn, so, and, like, we should definitely play to the worst case scenario. So we'll attack and probably be discarding this Ready. Like, if we draw a red source, like, we might want the Engrass Rampage to take out a Planeswalker. Although I guess Nicol Bolas also takes out Planeswalkers. Ooh, Jace. That's nice. Yeah, I think we're just going to pitch Ready here. And then Deluge for 6. The fact that they gained us some life with the Condemn is actually semi-relevant here. His toughness, right? Yeah, I mean, 12 I guess would still be fine, but 16 definitely feels better. And Jace plays, like, Jace plus Impulse makes the Mana Drain look a little bit better. Now we have solid uses of colorless mana. Alright. Now we can impulse, and that gives us a much better chance of hitting that red source finally. Okay, it's annoying that it's tapped, but we're definitely taking Black Wave Cliffs here. And now it's close if we want to just jam Jace. I kind of think we don't. Like, we're not really under any rush, and just holding a mana drain, and then untapping and being able to play Jace next turn seems pretty strong. Actually, although I guess we can't hold up mana drain and play Jace because we only have 3 blue sources, but it's fine. Alright, this is looking like something we're probably going to want to mana drain. Yeah, that is definitely. Like, if it was something we could Murderous Rider, well, that would be one thing, but that's definitely a great mana drain target. We get 5 mana now, so we'll play this Jace. Ooh, that is great. So, step 1 is Jace. I think we're going to start with a Brainstorm here. Hope to find mana. Okay, nice. Let's see. So this would be waste. I think we probably just want to take a land and play Nicol Bolas. It wastes our 3 mana, although I guess that does help us play around the mana leak. But yeah, I think that's probably what we want to do. So it doesn't really matter what we put back. We're going to be drawing it all anyways. I guess the worst card is... Yeah, and it doesn't really matter. Alright, Nicol Bolas. And we will +1. We could Brainstorm again, but drawing the card is very similar to Brainstorming here, and them having to lose a permanent is potentially irrelevant. They'll probably crack their relic, so like that's a little bit annoying with his Treasure Cruise, but we don't really need the Treasure Cruise when we have Jace and Nicol Bolas on the battlefield. And we can even just hardcast it. So Fractured Identity is definitely the scariest thing here. If they Fractured Identity Nicol Bolas and then minus to kill our Jace, that puts us in a much worse position, but we can still just Creeping Tar Pit their Nicol Bolas and then Treasure Cruise to restock. If they don't have Fractured Identity this turn, they just lose. Okay, they do. But yeah, this is not the end of the world. They definitely are going to minus on our Jace. Yep. I think we're just going to Treasure Cruise first chance we get if they let us untap with the Relic. Or if they, like, don't Relic before we untap. Alright, yeah, don't crack this. Come on, just pass. Nice. So, we're just going to do this for a full value. We don't have anything to use our graveyard except for the Scarab God, so I guess we'll leave Sower. Oh, wait, actually, no, we're not going to leave anything. We don't really care about this. It's going to get exiled anyways. So we draw our cards. Oh, that's nice. We can Thoughtseize just to make sure the coast is clear. I can't really imagine anything they would have here, but... Ooh, actually very happy to take that. Now we can do this. Kill the Nicol Bolas. So we're slightly low on win conditions here, but we still have the Scarab God, and also this Hanging Back Walker can put in work. I think we're just going to play a Spirebluff Canal tapped here. We don't really care about Ingrath Rampage. So, yeah. We could have also just cast Hanger Back for 1, but I think it makes more sense just to play bigger Hanger Back next turn. I guess they probably just sided out of red, now that I think about it. They, like, the fact that they don't have any red mana when they've gone through this much of their deck, like, maybe they were splashing for Fiery Confluence and 1 or 2 more cards, and saw that Confluence wasn't going to be very good here. So this Ingrath's Rampage is looking pretty weak, but it'll be good against a Planeswalker if they have one. I mean, we do have another answer to a Planeswalker, but... Ooh, Treasure Cruise, okay. Alright, maybe we have more of a game on our hands than I thought. So, the best draws here would be Scarab God. Actually, yeah, Scarab God would be amazing, making a Sun Titan or a Muldrifter. Alright, they got some creatures, but Hanger Back will hold them back pretty well if they don't have a removal spell. Or specifically like a path. Okay, yeah, I think we're just gonna play this for full value. There's some argument to actually just playing it for 3, so that we can Murder Strider our own thing if they path it. But I think I'd just rather make it 4 so that it can block the Golem. See if they path this end of turn. Doesn't really matter. We don't have any ways to use these cards anyways. They're overvaluing Relic for sure here. Okay, they do have the path. All right. Maybe we're in worse position than I thought. So let's see what we have left in our deck. Okay, we do have a lot of gas, actually. Yeah, we have a lot of good stuff. All right, well, hopefully we can draw some of it. So we're taking 5 here. Then we're gonna Murder Strider. I think we're just gonna Murder Strider the Golem, and then just cast Murder Strider, or Swift in the Golem, and then cast Murder Strider. And I think that's fine. We'll go down to 6, but then we'll have some lifelink in play, and they won't really have a clock. The Fractured Identity to kill both of our Planeswalkers was obviously good, and Island was obviously bad. So we do have enough. It probably won't be relevant, but we do have enough mana to animate. Well, actually, I guess it is relevant. So we need to decide if we want to leave back the Tar Pit on defense or hit them for 3. I think I like hitting them for 3. If they have a removal spell for this, it is a little bit worse. But if they had a 2-turn clock through with a removal spell, that would be annoying. But I think on a 3-turn clock, this is fine. And again, if they don't have a removal spell, then they don't have any attacks, and we do want to pressure them as much as we can. Man, yeah, they should really, really be cracking this Relic. Spellseeker. Okay, so that can get maybe a removal spell, although they already did go through Path and Condemn. They could have like Swords to Plowshares that we haven't seen yet, maybe. Oh, they failed to find. Right, so yeah, that doesn't seem great. They're playing that just to find Condemn, Path, or Ponder. Wow. Seemed like an early concession, but we were going to win that game. Yeah, I mean, Cryptic on top and a Scarab God. All right, yeah, we were going to win, but I still am surprised they skipped that early. Well, that was pretty sweet. Pretty awesome that we were able to beat Fractured Identity, being like a great 3-for-1. That just showcases the power of that card, though. If we had Fractured Identity, we would be splashing white. That is for sure. I'd sort of like to be splashing white anyways. Like, Elspeth would be great in this deck. Like, this is truly a Super Friends deck, and the more Planeswalkers we can play, the better. And Wrath of God would be good too, and Wear Tear. We could also just be playing Wear Tear. But I don't think that's what we want to be doing. I mean, it's reasonable. But we have Angus, Rampage, Daretti, and Dak to deal with artifacts already. And yeah, I think that's a decent amount. Alright, easy mulligan here. No one can have a 1-lander in an 18-land deck, but it happens. Well, we're going to keep this. It's slow, but it has all of our colors. I think we're going to put back... I mean, we have a lot of 5s, so definitely one of the 5s, and I think Nicol Bolas is just, like, very likely going to be hard to cast for a while. Hopefully they're not playing something too fast. So we're definitely leaving an island in case... Well, I guess it doesn't... We can't really... actually, no. Yeah, we definitely should have played one of these. Because in general, we want to lead on island so that we can have Mana Drain up, but there's no situation where we can play Mana Drain next turn. And there is a situation where we want to play Angrass Rampage. So, we'll see. Like, yeah, I mean, now if we draw Angrass Rampage, this will be potentially pretty costly. Alright, did not. Yeah, let's get this into play and play Hanger Beezy. This is also nice because we can just sack this next turn to Daretti if we want to kill something immediately. Worst case scenario is definitely just Island Dax steal it, but hopefully they're just playing black-red. Shrine of Burning Rage. Okay, so we can kill that with Duretti. Hopefully they don't have like a bolt or anything. Like if they just pass and we can just Duretti this down, that's pretty sweet. And then the next turn we can Duretti the Shrine with the token that it'll make. So we'll attack for 1. This makes it definitely look like they're not splashing blue. Like they're probably splashing black for like Kolaghan's Command or something. Playing a deck like the one in my second draft video. Although hopefully for them it's a little bit better than that one. That was a rough draft. We actually salvaged a decent result, but definitely not a deck I was happy with. So if they have like a bolt here or something, that's a little bit annoying, but alright, they don't. So now next turn we have a choice. We could either Fallen Shinobi or kill the Shrine. Shinobi is probably better. It is, I mean, obviously a little bit annoying that we don't get it back, but we'll see. I mean, they also likely do something that changes things here. You could go like Chandra or something. Obviously, an island would be a great draw for this Jace, but even if we don't, we have a 4 mana play potentially, and yeah, this Duretti is definitely giving us some value. This card is just great. Repeatable, cheap, removal. Always good. Ooh, yeah, that's not going to be too good. Did they just card a Reanimator card? No, they just... Yeah, this is not going well for them. I mean, there's a good chance we won't be able to play anything next turn, but they have 1 card. Like, what are they going to do? I mean, sure. So now they can Shrine down our Duretti. Oh, that's not great. So we don't have a ton going on, but they certainly don't either, and our hand is just stacked, so we can just, like, any land, and we can start going off. And if we just draw spells, like, there's a lot that we can cast. 3 is definitely the biggest part of our curve. I think it is worth chumping here. We could just take it and then sack the token, killing our Duretti and the Shrine. But, well, actually, maybe that is worth it. No, I think we actually do want to do this. I do want to take the Shrine off the board for sure, but okay, that's decent. But keeping the Duretti around is a fairly high priority. I mean, if they just sack the Shrine to kill the Duretti, that's pretty much the same. We get a Rabblemaster. That's nice. Oh yeah, really happy to have hit those cards. Fatal Push would be reasonable. Night Whisper would be great, and Goblin Rabblemaster would certainly be good. So, yeah. Next turn we can -3 the Ashiok, get the Rabblemaster, and then use the token to put in Shinobi. And potentially get mana from them. So that's a pretty good exchange. Alright, now we are just going to take this. Because now we can minus and sack this token and still keep our Duretti around. So they can sack the Shrine if they want to kill something, but Dreadhorde Arcanist, sure. That cannot cast anything. Okay, so I think we're just gonna kill the Dreadhorde Arcanist actually. Yeah, we're gonna kill this, and then we can try and use Shinobi with the Ashiok trick. And it can kill our Fallen Shinobi with the Shrine, but then we're just taking the Shrine off the board, and we still have these Planeswalkers, and they can only kill 1 next turn, so that seems fine. And we'll also just have Rabblemaster. So, we'll see. They pretty much do have to kill the Shinobi, I think. Like, if the Shinobi connects, that's just probably going to end the game. Although I guess it's less good against this deck that probably won't have any, like, huge bombs. Sure, definitely take that. Okay, I think. Well, Airbase is great. That finds blue for us. Season Power Mentor is also pretty strong, so I think we're gonna pitch Wormcoil and Swamp, and then we can make a Wormcoil with the Scarab God. Actually, no, I think Wormcoil is just too good. I think we're actually gonna pitch Jace. And I do think it's a bit better to just play this while we can. So, we definitely don't want to just like randomly die to this shrine getting up to like 11. But we have a pretty good clock on them here, so I'm not too worried about that. And Lava Mancer, sure. You could potentially just Toxic Deluge for 1. But yeah, I mean, definitely the Shrine is like the only thing that matters at this point. So if we draw an untapped land, we can play Wormcoil and then just ready to kill the Shrine. Do you think that'd be worth it? Not an untapped land. So we'll plus there. What do we get? Goblin Guide and Figure of Destiny. So they are pretty aggressive. All right, I think we're just gonna. I think we are gonna Toxic Deluge for 1 here. It means we can't. Well, yeah, I think we should do this because we can't even attack with a Rabble Master right now. And being at 16 is fine. That's still pretty healthy. We lose our Elemental, but nothing else. And then we're hitting them for a decent amount here. We're dead in 2 turns. And we're hoping to hit an artifact so that we can just. I mean, we don't. The Already's done his job. We can just kill the Shrine at this point if we draw into that. Or Shinob into that. 2-1 Rebel Master is a rare power toughness combo. Okay, that was pretty strong. This matchup could be tough if they have a more aggressive draw, but I do think this is certainly better for us than mono red. Like their black cards are just not super good. Okay, I think we want these 2 cards. Definitely Pyroclasm, and I do think Flame Slash looks good too. So we will want to bring in a red source. What do we not want? Jace Beleriand looks pretty weak. I don't think we want this. It's good against Shrine, but we didn't see a lot else. There's a couple cards here that I don't love, like Luterial Core is not great. Ashiok isn't great. Cryptic is potentially tough on the mana, although it is a good effect. I do think we're certainly going to want to do this, and we honestly might even want another red source if possible. Thoughtseize is also not amazing, but I don't really think they're like so hyper aggressive that the 2 life is devastating. I think I'll cut the Luterial Core. We're bringing in some cheap interactions, so we're hoping to interact on turn 2, not like play something that can't block. And we also are bringing in Pyroclasm. We still have the Deluge. I also think I'm going to cut. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 black sources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue sources. Is 5 red enough? The thing is, these red cards are all cards we want pretty early, so I actually think I'm going to cut 1 more blue. It's awkward with Mana Drain and Cryptic, but other than that, we actually don't have a ton of heavy blue requirements. Really thinking hard about whether or not to go first. The card advantage of the draw can be pretty enticing. There are some situations where I could imagine wanting to choose being on the draw, but very few, and certainly not this one. Like, if we were both playing base black decks that weren't, like, fast reanimator decks, there's, like, a lot of thought seizes, hymn to Torox, removal spells, like, that's one situation where it might be worth it, but easy keep. Pyroclasm is certainly the most important card for us to have. We have solid mana. We can't play Mana Drain, but that's fine. Drawing Jace. Okay, that's not great. I guess we'll play this in case we draw. If they play nothing and we draw Island, I think holding up Mana Drain looks better than playing Pyroclasm. Hopefully they just go like double one drop here. Oh, they could Thoughtseize it. Alright, that's actually pretty good. Losing the Pyroclasm is annoying, but definitely makes me much happier that we played the Island too. Ashiok is going to be horrible here. I mean, probably. It actually depends. If they don't have much more pressure, then it could be good, but if they just play like Figure of Destiny here, it could be pretty awkward. Hopefully they don't have a Rabble Master. Or if they do, hopefully we draw an Island. Nice. Alright, sweet. We don't even have to discard a hand size because they took a card out of our hand. So, we'll play Island, hold up Mana Drain, and they probably won't play anything into it, in which case we need to decide if we want to Ashiok. We probably do. Rabble Master could be a big problem for sure. Let's see what's on top also. Another Island, okay. So, wow, jeez. I think I am just going to get this Ashiok down. Like, even if they play the Rabble Master, we have Jace to bounce it if we need to. We have a ton of lands in our hands, and they're all basics. But we also have definitely all our colors, so that's good, I guess. Hopefully, they don't have Rabble Master, or like, I mean, there's actually a lot of things they could have that would be pretty bad here. Like a Chandra. But I do think having an Ashiok in play is, like, when they don't have much pressure, is potentially pretty good. And the cards we hit are very nice to get rid of for sure. Right, this is a huge turn. If they don't have something scary here this turn, I think we'll definitely win. But they could play some things that would make our life a lot more complicated. Alright, Soulscar Mage is not one of them. Nor is Dreadhorde Arcanist. Okay, nice. They can play Inquisition with the Arcanist, so that's something, but not too worried about that. We'll see what's on top. The Scarab God, okay. So, we're definitely plussing. We'll do that first. In general, when you have two plays, one of which gives you a decision and one of which doesn't, you should always delay the decision as much as you can. Now, I think we do want to play the Jace. I honestly think I like just Jace bounce the Dreadhorde. It's obviously not good value, like they can just kill it, but if they do that, the Ashiok will just stay in play and keep putting in work, and we just want to stall. Like, we have so many cards in hand. We don't need the Jace to win here. Just want to preserve our life total and untap with the Planeswalker. So next turn will probably be Scarab Godding, but I guess it sort of depends on what they play. We can also Abbot to maybe take an extra card. Ooh, this is not good. Alright, Chandra's annoying. That's definitely pretty strong. I would imagine they're probably going to add mana and play their Arcanist. It's nice that Chandra cannot deal damage to Planeswalkers. Well, I mean, the Emblem can, and the cards she pluses into can, so she definitely has ways of doing it, but this +1 doesn't do it. So I would assume 2 at Jace, 2 at Ashiok. Ooh, interesting. You're just going to ignore the Ashiok. That's honestly probably smart. Ooh, Wurmcoil Engine on top. That is excellent. So, I do think we're just going to -2 here. We don't really care about plussing, and it could potentially hit us land, and at the very worst case, it's just a blocker. Alright, nice. That's some free value there. Alright, Scarab God. This is bigger than the 4 damage from this, which is nice. And also, usually the Chandra emblem just wins the game, but Wurmcoil can actually race it, so that's good. Oh, okay, I did forget about that. So, I mean, they can kill the Scarab God, and we'll get it back to our hand, but it does stay shrunk from this. Alright, sure. Scarab God down, but it'll be back soon. This card is so broken. There's no need for it to return. It's, like, already good, but I'll take it. Wow, aggressive. They must have... Wait, yeah, that's just weird that they would not just kill this. Oh, wait, no, they can... Yeah, wait, are we just dead? Oh, we're going to go to 2 here. Wow. And then the Chandra kills us. Yeah, wow, that was a big swing. I think we're just dead on the board now. Man, good turn. So they'll Chain Lightning... I mean, hopefully they Chain Lightning us. That would be awesome. But I think it's pretty obvious that they should Chain Lightning this. And then we'll take 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, what? Why would you ever do that? This is obviously just prevents 4 damage. Like, right now. It's not even like an abstract thing down the road. Like, it immediately prevents 4 damage. So now we have a chance, actually. So we're going to go to 3 instead of 2, which means the Chandra doesn't kill us. So that was a massive, massive misplay. Oof. I mean, that's good against Chandras in some situations, but not right now. Dang, those are all bricks, so too bad to see them all be gone. But yeah, I mean, they can plus down to 1, or plus us down to 1, but then we can gain 6. If they draw a burn spell, it will be annoying because we will gain less life because they'll shrink the Wurmcoil. I mean, also the burn spell will just kill us. But if they brick for this 1 turn, as in if they had drawn any of the 3 cards we just took away from them, then I think we can start swinging this. Ooh, that's a good card. I imagine they are playing it over dealing 2 to us. We'll see what their last card is. Hopefully it's land. Okay, nice. Yeah, they definitely should have played land before playing that. Figure of Destiny here, it looks like. Yeah, alright. So, we need a way to deal with the board for sure. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I'm stupid. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, yeah, actually, yeah. So the Dreadhorde Arcanist can kill us. Hopefully they miss the line, because they do seem not the best. But if they just attack with everything, the Wurmcoil will become a 2/2, and we'll only gain 2 life. Nice, they didn't notice. Not that I'm particularly surprised, given how this has been playing out, but that's definitely good for us. Okay, so start by the obvious play of plussing here. Okay, Rabblemaster, Lavamancer. So, I think we want to attack Chandra here. They'll probably block. I mean, they don't know we have the Murderous Rider, so I think they'll probably block. I mean, we could leave it back. But if we go to 9, how much damage do they have on board? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They can put it to 10. But we can have 2 blockers, or a blocker plus a Mana Drains. Yeah, I do think we're going to attack here. If they don't block, that's still fine. We can just play Murderous Rider as a 2/3 with lifelink. And then we have a couple different options. I mean, the most conservative line, which might be the best here, is just to play... Okay, yeah, no, so they do this. If they had just taken it, then I think we might just go cast this as a creature, cast this as a 1/1, hold up Mana Drain. But since they're doing this, I think we do just want to Murderous Rider the Chandra. Just confirm. So if we Murderous Rider the Chandra, we're definitely playing a Swamp here. We Murderous Rider the Chandra, play a 1/1 Hangerback Walker. We're at 7. and we hold up Mana Drain. I think that's probably the line. We'll have one blocker. So we block the Figure of Destiny. Take this. Yeah, that should be fine. They can flashback a Flame Slash to kill our thing, but that still isn't lethal, and we have a Mana Drain, so yeah. I do really wish that was Hero's Downfall right now. 2 life could certainly come back to bite us. Alright, yeah, our opponent really blew it when they flashbacked Chain Lightning targeting us instead of our Abbot of Carol Keep. They would have won on board pretty clearly at that point, but instead I think we're actually favored here. If we get another hit with Wurmcoil, we definitely win. So yeah, hopefully that's the case. I mean, actually, they're threatening to turn this into an 8/8 flyer soon, so that's a little scary. In fact, they just can do that. So we'll see. Oh man, oh no, are they gonna pay 6 to try and make this? Oh, I'm so sorry, opponent. That's not how that works, Phil Kill. I mean, they also might have just drawn like a Banefire, which would kill us. Or no, yeah, Banefire would kill us. But yeah, that's not. I feel bad about that. This only, like, you have to go sequentially. It says if it's a warrior, and it only becomes a warrior after you pay the 3. So that does not work how our opponent wanted it to. And yeah, this is tough. I would definitely not say you're dumb, Phil Kill, but you did a dumb thing. That is certainly true. It's also fair, like, that comes up so infrequently that, like, a lot of people don't really understand that interaction, but yeah, that's how it works, in case anyone didn't know. So make sure you pay the 3 before you pay the 6 on that one. Alright, well, some slight misplays on the behalf of our opponent definitely helped us there, but we're 4-0, so that's pretty cool. Alrighty, we got our opponent. Let's go for that trophy. Oh, lost the die roll again. Not a super inspiring hand, but I do think it's a keep. We have all of our colors. 4 black is not necessary, but we have a turn 3 and turn 4 play because of this Murderous Rider, and then Scarab God is nice, so got some stuff. Okay, Preordain is a lot less scary than Ancestral Vision would have been. Best draw is probably just Thoughtseize here. Looter Core would also be nice, just to cycle through some of these lands. Alright, I mean, if we're going to draw a land, that's a pretty good one to draw. Gives us our second blue and a second red in case they have a wasteland or something. Alright, nice. Top is not very scary. Ooh, Dak is very good. It doesn't work well against Sensei Divining Top unless your opponent is not the best. But they can just loot away stuff, and I mean, hope, like, best case scenario, they play Coalition Relic here or something. Nice. Nice. That is beautiful. They kind of just tap it, so we won't actually get mana from it for a while, but still very happy to see that. Oh, they're just happening now. That's maybe scary. Hopefully it's not like a Stonecoil Serpent. Hangerback Walker would be best for us, I think. Oh, Tinker. Ooh. Alright. Come on, Blightsteel. Be a Blightsteel. Do not be an Inkwell Leviathan. This is wow. Come on. Alright, somewhere in the middle. That's fine. We can steal that, and then they'll kill they'll be able to kill our Dak, but that's definitely, yeah, I mean, Inkwell Leviathan would have been brutal there. Ashiok is not good now, but will be good soon. We'll play the island just because we have because of cryptic considerations, but I don't think it'll matter. So give me that Battle Ball. I know they don't have a ton going on. Like, they have 3 mana, If they can send everything in deck, we kill one, they'll have 3 tokens. We still have like a great hand, so that was a fine exchange for us. It's nice that they sacked the Sensei's Top over the Grim Monolith, or actually, in the short run, that's nice. It's possible they have like a big artifact after this, but we'll see. They're just sending 2 deck. We will obviously just eat one of them. So at the end of this exchange, we've spent 3 mana and 1 card, and we have a 4/7. They've spent 4 mana and 2 cards, and they have 3 1/1s. So that was definitely good for us. Oh, Bounce Grim Monolith. That's a decent play, but weird to do it there. Ooh, okay. Yeah, we're just going to Jace plus, I think. In the case that they have a way to deal with this Battle Ball, I don't really want to just lose it to the dudes, so we'll Jace plus on ourselves. In general, you want to Jace plus late in the game when you sort of know exactly what your opponent wants. But like right now, what if it's a land? Like maybe they really need a 5th land to slam something. Like we just don't know, whereas we do know exactly what we want. We could also bounce one of their tokens, but I don't think we really care about that. So we'll do this. Shinobi. That's interesting. I think that's better than a random draw. It's not like the best, but it's solid. And we will be leaving this Battle Ball back. Oh, that's annoying. So they can bring back their Battle Ball, and yeah, I mean, it's a good thing we plussed our Jace. So now I think we just want to Murderous Rider this Jace as soon as we can. So we'll plus on ourselves again just to keep this alive. Definitely bottoming that. And it's not an efficient use of mana, but I think just getting this Jace off the table is a pretty high priority for us. And then next turn we can probably just go Ashiok plus Murderous Rider. So they can play Grim Monolith this turn and then play Battlesphere again next turn. So that's a little scary. We do need to find our sweeper. What's Toxic Deluge? So hopefully that can happen. You don't have any fetches to pair with Jace, which is annoying. Tangle Wire. Oh wow, that's actually pretty good. All right, I think we're actually gonna lose this game now. That was a really good string of events for our opponent. The Jace was brutal, balancing their Battlesphere, and that is just gonna put a very, very fast clock on us. Jeez, okay. Their deck is good. Their deck is definitely good. So hopefully we can find Mana Drain. Nice. That's great. And Treachery. So yeah, really, really strong pickups there. Doesn't really matter what we put back. So we can counter their Battlesphere and then add 7 mana. We'll have to tap 3 things, but we still have enough mana to play Treachery. Let's see, actually, that is interesting. Would we rather Mana Drain? No, we definitely want to Mana Drain because we won't have enough mana to Treachery if we don't. We tap 3 things and we'll have 4 mana, so yeah. Actually, I forgot that our Jace was dying. It does matter what we put back. We want to draw Shinobi, but I'm pretty sure we put it in that order. We're sending everything in Jace, sure. So hopefully they have another artifact. Otherwise, they won't play the thing. But yeah, we definitely want them to. Hopefully they have like a Signet. If they have 2 huge artifacts, okay, yeah, perfect. So we will certainly be mana draining this. That's the power of Jace. Even when you don't have shuffle effects, sometimes just digging you 3 cards deep can be huge. So we tap 3 things. So we'll tap both of our swamps and an island. Don't think we want to blow the Treachery on any of these small things. So we'll just cast Scarab God plus Shinobi, and that's a pretty sweet turn. Wow, this game has been very swingy. But luckily, the most recent swing has been towards us. I do think we just want to use our mana efficiently here. I mean, we could play Ashiok or Murderous Rider instead of the Shinobi, but we don't have any cheap things to ninjutsu, so I don't think we're going to be using ninjutsu this game, and then just getting the mana in play, especially against Tangle Wire, is pretty nice. So we know their hand is Rakdos Signet and one presumably non-artifact. I mean, it's possible they have another artifact they didn't reveal, but my guess is they would want to play around Miscalculation if they could, and Daze. Alright, there's an island. Wow, what a game so far. This has been a sweet one. We do have Treachery for any creatures. Oh, Time Twister? Wow, okay. Well, Toxic Deluge is nice. So is Cryptic. We drew a good hand here, but they could potentially do something really broken with this Metalworker now. I love Metalworker with draw 7s. They definitely should have played the Signet. Like, they'd have one less mana this turn, but I do think that would be worth it in the long run. Oh, wow, they could play a big Ballista. We can Deluge, but it's not the best thing ever. They're just hard casting Shark Typhoon. Okay. So, yeah, this is going to be a great Toxic Deluge. So we know they're holding a Walking Ballista, but once we get rid of their Metalworker, that becomes a lot less scary. And we will get the Fallen Shinobi trigger. So we tap 2 things. There'll be 2 swamps. We don't quite have enough mana to Cryptic plus... Ooh, Mana Drain. Okay, never mind. I was going to say we couldn't Cryptic plus Deluge, but we can Mana Drain plus Deluge. So definitely putting that on the top. It's sort of funny that that's a zombie. So we will just cast this, paying 2 life. I mean, the Shark Typhoon could be a problem. Like, that might give them a lot of value over the course of this game, but like I think getting in a Shinobi hit will be very good against them. Like, we could just hit like a Battle Sphere or something huge. Man, are there really any fun cards in your deck? Some people would say stuff like Shinobi is very fun, but I'm sorry you're not enjoying what we got going on here, Uwada. For what it's worth, I think you do have fun cards, so that's cool. Alright, good hits. Actually, very good hits. Now we can just hold up Cryptic. We could also just bounce the Shark Typhoon, but I think it's better to just pass and do this. And then if they don't do anything, we can either bounce draw the Shark Typhoon at end of turn, or just make a 4/4 Metalworker, which is, I think, what we want to do. Their life total is actually under some pressure here. They have 8 mana, so they could play a 4/4 Ballista. Preordain, they make a small Shark. I mean, that's actually decent. That does trump block well, but our life total is pretty high. Honestly, surprisingly high, given all the stuff they've done. Bottom, top. I wonder what they could have topped here. They're just passing? Okay, that's weird. I think I am going to make a Metalworker here. I mean, we could charge this up or, like, just keep holding up counterspells in case they have an instant, but, like, they have to chump block here. Like, they're under a lot of pressure, and we'll be untapping with a bunch of counters. This deck is sweet. I love decks with a lot of multicolored cards in general. Ooh, what do they have here? Repeal my Scarab God. Okay, I mean, that makes a 6/6. We can Cryptic it, but that is a bit unfortunate. So, we gotta tap one thing. Just tap a mountain, or a swamp. So we could actually use Metalworker to get 2 mana. Maybe that'll actually come out. Ooh, actually, that doesn't do as much as I would think it would against this deck normally. Let's see. We can almost kill them. We could tap their things and then hit them for 9. I wish those sharks were artifacts. I think it is worth bounce drawing one of the 6/6 token, and we'll see what we draw. They're under a lot of pressure to chump block the Shinobi here. I think they will. So we'll do that. Hold up Mana Drain. I wish we had one more blue source so that we could play Dak also. Ask and you shall receive. So we'll just go to attacks here, and we're going to send the Metal Worker. I mean, we could add 2 mana, but I don't think we need to do that. Like, we want to be holding up. Like, we have a good turn lined up. Good use of our mana. So that happens. We'll play a Dak, and I think we're just going to steal one of their signets. Yeah, we'll steal the one that's double on color for us. Second Dak of the game. I wonder if they have a counterspell. I think we're just going to let this resolve. I don't really care about the Dak. It's annoying that they get a 2-2, but I think just Mana Drain the Ballista is more important here. So they have Ballista and 2 unknowns. I mean, it's still possible that they could win. Like, Shark Typhoon does make some dudes, but... Alright, sure. Get your 0-0. We're going to manage... I assume this is Ballista. And, like, it's definitely a giveaway to some extent that we didn't pay for the Dak. Alright, so... They can put one more counter on this if they want to. And make it a 3-3. I don't even think we're going to drain this. Like, that just doesn't matter that much. I mean... maybe that's greedy. We don't have an answer to it. But I think it's fine. I think we're going to let this resolve. If they had another land, they could turn it into a 4-4, then it would kill the Shinobi, and that could maybe change things. But there's also some value in charging this up. So, Scarab God doesn't do a ton here. I think we're just going to play a Wormcoil. Yeah, that seems pretty good. So we'll cast Wormcoil with that mana from the Coalition Relic. Go to combat and send in both. And then we could play Ashiok and hold up Mana Drain, I guess. Yeah, I think that's worth it. Actually, no, this makes our tapping sort of weird, but I think the main way we lose is something weird with, like, Walking Blitz somehow killing us, and just having as many blockers as possible is good against that. And Ashiok doesn't do much. I mean, it gives us more information about their deck, but I think one Ashiok plus isn't super huge. I mean, I guess it would change things a bit if we saw an upheaval, but... Okay, they have a ton of mana here. I mean, like, if they just hardcast Emrakul to Aeon's Torn and we lose, but that would be a ridiculous card for them to have. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So, I mean, if you do it, just congratulations. That's sort of cool, but I don't think you have that. I guess Emrakul, the Promise End, is more likely and could maybe be a problem, but I still don't think it would. Like, we could just counter it, and they can't do anything, like, ridiculous with what we have. I mean, yeah, they could Jace and draw themselves a card, but, like, didn't do too much. Do we use our Mana Drain on this? I think we are going to. Like, that represents a lot of potential problems. In general, like, I like countering card draw spells. We'll see if they have, like, some... Like, if they have Time Walk here, I guess that maybe is bad, but still not even that bad. 7 mana. Battlesphere. Alright, sure. Actually, Battlesphere is okay. So we get a bunch of colorless mana. So we will cast Scarab God. And Ashiok. Actually, no, I think playing Jace is slightly better. Because we would love to draw into some form of interaction. I mean, we still will likely play Ashiok as well, but like pre-combat before they know anything, that's I think what we want to do. So Let's see, what to attack with. We actually don't have great attacks. That Battlesphere is pretty good. Obviously Wurmcoil is a good attacker. If we attack with everything, what happens? They eat the Fallen Shinobi with Mer Battlesphere. They chump Wurmcoil. They probably eat Murderous Rider with a Shark, and they chump Metalworker. That doesn't look great, honestly. I think we're just sending the Wurmcoil, which is a little awkward. Like, they definitely are making a bit of a comeback. I still think we're ahead, but we're not, like, so far ahead. The life gain is actually really relevant here. If we can get to an absurdly high life total, that's good against what they have going on. And we're pretty sure they don't have, like, a Blightsteel Colossus or something like that. So we can get this Ashiok going now. And if anything ever goes to the graveyard, I guess, yeah, I was forgetting about that. Maybe we should have sent more just because if they kill our stuff, that's not too bad. But we'll see. Ooh, Ulamog. Very, very good to get rid of that. That could have definitely swung this game. And we'll get our tap land into play and pass. And they don't really have great attacks. I found with interactions with people online in Magic and in others, like, a lot of people's first instinct is towards, like, a little bit of, like, saltiness or just, like, negativity. And if you respond in kind, they just go so negative so fast. But in general, if you are nice to someone, like, people sort of give back what you get. Oh, what? Are you kidding me? Wow, that was, like, the best draw they could have had. Okay. Jeez. They get a 5/5 flyer, and they steal our Scarab God. Wow, okay, I mean, they're drawing hot. Like, that was obviously top deck, and I have to imagine the best top deck in their deck. Jeez. Well, we could lose this still, which would be crazy. If we kill this, we do get it back, and there's nothing in the grave. I mean, they do have a Black Source, funnily enough, but there's nothing in the graveyard to eat right now. I guess they could attack for 4. Yeah. So that happens. Our Ashiok goes to 1, but yeah, we are maybe losing now, which I just never would have thought possible. Oh, wait, yeah, no, they also have the Ballista. Yeah, we actually just definitely are losing. Jeez. I don't even think we made any misplays here. I think they just drew really, really well, and we started flooding. Hopefully they don't kill our Jace, but they almost definitely will. I guess this is a problem with playing 18 lands. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we only have 6 left and 17 cards, which is pretty good. So we could draw a Treachery of our own. We could draw Nicol Bolas, although they have plenty of permanents exile. If we draw Nicol Bolas, we might honestly just kill our own Scarab God and get it back. Yeah, so they put a counter here and then kill the Jace. That's definitely correct. We'll have 6 here. We don't have any plays. So now also we can't even really attack with Wurmcoil. Okay, nice. That's great. We can I guess technically we should have put a counter on this, but I don't think that'll matter. So we will lose our Jace here, which is a bit annoying, but we can just bounce the Scarab God and replay it, which is definitely a good exchange for us. They do have these sharks, which are annoying. Actually, I guess we should have it's close. Maybe we should have attacked before doing this. Although no, we definitely shouldn't have, because then yeah, no, definitely not. Because they could just they could use the Scarab God and get the thing. So we'll do that. That was not an impressive play. Oh no, it actually is good. Never mind. They can yeah, they can make their Walking Ballista now. And it won't have any, it's like, it'll be a 4/4 with no counters, and then they can just put more counters on it still. So, good play, opponent. Should not have doubted you. So this happens, then we are going to attack with Wurmcoil. Play land and play our Scarab God. Another thing worth noting, they probably have almost all lands left. They have 8 lands. It's possible they're playing 16, but even if they are, then they have 8 lands left out of 12 cards. So, like, they've been drawing extremely hot, but that means they have to start drawing some bricks. Also, it's nice that our Ashiok has hit only good cards. If we know they don't have any huge scary artifacts because they tinkered for this, so they don't have anything scarier than that. Okay, they just conceded. Nice. A little surprised by that, honestly, but they were. Oh, Angrath's Rampage is not too good against a board this cluttered. I do think our opponent is a bit salty. Okay, so definitely a matchup where we want this. We just really, really want artifact removal. Sower's bad against Ballista, but I think it's good in general. Blue is not really a color that has great access to removal. What do we not want? Honestly, a lot of this stuff looks pretty good. I guess Hangerback is pretty medium. They're not like playing to the board super aggressively, so we don't need a turn 2 play. It is good with Duretti, but I think that's fine. And then I do sort of like Wormcoil here. I do like Life Gain could be relevant. It's a great blocker. They don't have any ways like exile it or anything. I mean, Treachery is good against it, but Treachery is just going to be good. I actually think I kind of want to cut Treasure Cruise. I'm less interested in just cards that only draw cards against decks with Time Twister. And like also just exiling a lot of our spells and then not drawing them again after Time Twister is a bit annoying, and we're on the draw, so I think we'll do that. The other option is, again, to cut a land, but I think we want the lands. And I kind of want to add another red source, but yeah, we should probably add another red source. Red, like, that game we would have just gotten crushed if we didn't have Dak on turn 3. Like, remember back when they got that? So we want to make sure we have that. All right, great hand. We have all our colors. We have Duretti, which is one of our best cards. Don't have an artifact on turn 2, so we can't kill anything on turn 3 with Duretti, but we can kill stuff on turn 4, and we have turn 2 plays. If they have a Tinker on turn 3 again, that would be rough. The one thing this deck is really missing is a 0 mana counter. Daze is the worst, Force of Will is the best, Force of Negation is still good. Like, if we had one of those, that would help a lot in this matchup, and just in general against a lot of the more unfair decks. It's a pretty bad draw. We only have 1 black, so we're a very long way away from casting that. It will be good when we get to it, if we get to it before Time Twister, but not really what we want to see. No artifact, just please don't play an artifact. Hold up a counterspell or something. We're going to play Devastating Thing on turn 2. Okay. So they have Tinker live. That's good with Nicol Bolas, I guess. I think I mean, we could just bluff a counterspell, but they saw a lot of our deck. There's an argument to just playing Island and holding up fake mana drain, but I think getting the Looter in play is good. Like, yeah, I think this is worth it. I doubt that they would not play their turn 3 thing if they could. Ooh. They could just hardcast it, actually. They don't even need to. Okay, Jace is good. Tanglewire. Okay, I mean, we're not going to be playing any spells for a while, that's for sure. Okay, I'm actually definitely going to play Swamp now. We can kill the Jace in our upkeep before the Tanglewire trigger. Otherwise, we're not using our mana, and that's pretty good. I mean, the Jace is still putting in work for them. Like, they're getting a card off of it, and they got some good tempo, but it's also a good tempo for us to be able to play something around their Tanglewire. And they only have 2 mana. I mean, if they go land Tinker, again, that's pretty bad. Then it's sort of an interesting choice between... Actually, no, we would definitely need to hit the Battle Seer if that happened, but against anything else, we're in good shape. Like, our hand is stacked, they don't have a ton of stuff. Sure, that's not a problem. Get out of here, Jace. That's a good one, too. So next turn, we're going to have to tap two things so we can play Daretti or Wear Tear. Or, I mean, we have a lot of options, actually, but it's almost definitely going to be Daretti or Wear Tear, depending on how urgent it is to kill their artifact. I think that is one that we probably should just kill immediately, although they do have a lot of mana either way. No, actually, all of them have mana. I think we're not going to fight them on their mana this game. We're just going to fight their payoffs. They just already have enough mana that I don't think that's really a fight we want to be getting into. So we'll get our Daretti down. It's also just good to get a Planeswalker down when they can't really pressure it in any meaningful way. So this Tanglewire would have been very good if we didn't have the Murderous Rider. In general, it's a bad card. It's very good if you can really be like pushing your advantage while they're stalled. And Jace was a way to do that, but luckily we were able to disrupt that, and so it just became sort of card disadvantage. Like, I mean, it slowed us down, sure. Like, we could have used our mana more efficiently if it weren't for the Tanglewire, but it didn't do anything too bad. And now we can just like sack this or tap this construct, and it doesn't even do anything this turn. So hopefully we draw a land. All right, that's fine. I think we are just gonna kill the Thran Dynamo. It's not like, I know I just said we were gonna fight their payoffs, and I do still think that's generally what we want to do. But like, we can just do this basically for free. We still have an artifact disruption spell if we need it. So they're gonna untap their monolith for sure. And then I think we're just gonna play Glenn. They could play like a Walking Ballista or something still, but this is good against a lot of stuff. It's good against Tinker. Also, another match where time could potentially be a factor. They have no wins in under 10 minutes. I don't think that'll matter because I think we'll win this one before that comes into play, but could be relevant. So if they play a Battlesphere, we can just plus Daretti, wear the Battlesphere, maybe even play Murderous Rider and have blockers, and I think that seems like a pretty good position. Are they cycling a Shark Typhoon? That would be actually really good. That would kill Daretti, and we don't have a good answer to. I mean, we have the Nicol Bolas, but we can't cast that right now. Yeah, it does look like that's what this is. Definitely makes me happy we minus the Daretti there, because two 1/1s would two like 1/1 ground defenders wouldn't really do much at all. Although I guess, yeah, we're probably just gonna chump this with Glenn now that I think about it. Like, I think keeping the Daretti, well, maybe not actually. It's close. Because I don't think we want to just chump 2 turns in a row. Although actually maybe we still do. Yeah, no, we are gonna chump this turn. If we draw a black source, then it's very good if we can just Nicol Bolas plus keep the Daretti around. We can also just Shinobi the Glenn if we want to. And then we would get the counter off of it, but not have it up this turn. So we'll see. No plays there. Hopefully we draw a black source. Cryptic Command is interesting. We could get Gradient Impulse and try and hit another blue source for Cryptic. I do want to play lands. Man, a lot of options here, actually. So, I actually kind of like just getting the Shinobi in. Like, that does lose our Daretti, which is annoying. Daretti's good. And it doesn't hold up Cryptic, so maybe it's too aggressive, but it will probably, there's a good chance it'll hit a land for us. And it could just hit like a broken thing. Man, this is close. The most risk-averse line is just plussing Daretti and chumping again with Glenn and holding up Cryptic. Which is maybe right. I mean, like, they could just untap their Grim Monolith and untap all their stuff, play land, and play Ugin or Ulamog, and that's fine if we have a Cryptic, and game ending if we don't. I guess we can find Treachery, but man. If we land, we do have up Wear Tear. Yeah, I think we actually are just gonna go for the Shinobi line. I don't think they can interact with that, and I do like hitting a land would be very good here. Definitely leaving our red up so that we can Wear Tear. All right, that's it. Island Ulamog. Okay. Oh wait, that's awesome. We can repeal the token. That worked out so perfectly. Opponent is pretty annoyed, which is understandable. That's some bad beats there. Like this on the surface, this looks like really bad, but then it just actually is amazing. So we'll do this, and then they'll untop the Melith, and I think we are just gonna kill that. We don't want to risk them having Ulamog. Yeah, so bye. Now they're down to 6 mana. They can't do anything that scary with this. And we can blow up another artifact next turn, so I think that slam the door. Alright, not too afraid of a Boros Signet here. Next turn we have Cryptic or Glen. Control Magic my Shinobi. I mean, yeah, we're definitely going to win this. I think we're just going to play... Oh, we can't play Dak and Cryptic. I think we're just going to play Nicol Bolas here. And hold up. Impulse. Wow. Opponent really does not like Shinobi. I wonder if they would feel the same way if it was their Shinobi. Jeez. My opponent's not in a good mood. I was talking earlier about how you could sometimes cheer them up by being positive, but it doesn't look like that's working here. I think we are just going to blow up another artifact. Like, at this point, just keeping them off mana as much as possible seems pretty strong when we have a Nicol Bolas that's also pressuring their permanents. Memory Jar. Okay. I mean, that can do something. We could... Oh, no, actually it doesn't. They are not going to like it when we Dak Fade in that. So we want another blue source so that we can play Dak plus Cryptic. That did not really work. I think we're just going to take a Hero Downfall here. Like, I'm not really interested in a Swamp or a tapped land. Oof. So, we'll draw a card. We could also make a token and then, like, use Tutor Ready abilities to kill an artifact, but I don't think we really need to do that. This will almost definitely prompt the Rage concession. Sweet Planeswalker stack here. Alright, yeah, I'm sorry about our opponent's negativity, but I'm not sorry about that deck. We got a really, really sweet 6-0 trophy with... I love decks like this. Yeah, we'll get this out of here. This is my favorite kind of deck. Like, I mean, I'll draft mono white if that's what the draft gives me, but like, just sweet blue cards, lots of card draw, lots of cards in hand, lots of decisions, tons of planeswalkers. Yeah, really, really sweet deck. Definitely, yeah, I love that, and I hope y'all did too. Really fun draft.